Live. What's up, everybody? All right.
Happy day before 4th of July.
That's right. I feel like, can you grab me that towel? Or you're actually your towel. I feel like there's a smudgy on top of there. Summer! I'll be home after this, dinner tonight. All right, forgive me, everyone. I'm going to cover up the camera for a second because I feel like there's a smudge on it. It's better. All right, Sue, Summer, hello everybody.
Hi.
We got 5 people on here. We'll give everyone a few more minutes. Missouri, what's the temperature like there today, Sue? It's actually really nice here. 80 degrees, 82 degrees. Master Spas, hello. Is that Kayla? Kayla, are you our babysitter today? I think so too. Charlie, Washington, very cool. We'll give everyone a few minutes here. All right, we had a beatdown of a day, lots of appointments, lots of Zoom calls, 2 workouts, live. We're pretty cooked. I'm pretty cooked. You guys, Kayla, Tracy, Oregon, awesome, very cool. Give everyone a couple of minutes here. So this year I will be 50, and we just did a gymnastics class with a college student who is so fit it will make you barf, and she just kicked the crap out of us. My God, it's ridiculous. 84 and cloudy. I suppose it could be worse, could be better, could be worse. All right, awesome. 12 people, we'll go another minute. I hope you guys have some cool plans. I feel like 4th of July fell on a weird...
Yeah,
it's weird, like weird on a Thursday.
I'm not
like
doing
that.
anything until the weekend.
Dave, hi from my new Challenger 15D in New Jersey.
Nice.
Awesome. This is...
Did you ask the question about peeing in the swim spa?
Did you say peeing in the swim
Yes.
spa? Dave, did you ask the question about peeing in the swim spa? No, don't do it.
Not him. Not him. He was...
Okay. So.
He was asking if we got a question.
He said yes.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you can't pee in there. As
No,
convenient as it is.
He's not going to, but he was saying you find out like the dreaded information that a child peed in your swim spa.
I have a whole answer for this, Dave, that's not harassing you, I swear. So, okay. Mama, hello, Mama. All right. So let's start with the pee question. It's a good one, and I'll be serious for the answer. So this may horrify a lot of you on here. Human sweat and urine are almost the same thing. True story. So they're not that different. So if you think that little kids did pee in there, it's no different than a large adult in there, sweating for 2 hours. So you just treat it. If you think maybe they did, assume they did and treat for it. And honestly, chlorine kills things far worse than human sweat and urine. So it's not the end of the world. It's more problematic in a hot tub with that obviously hotter temperatures and smaller body of water. But it's really not. It's more mental for us. It's horrible.
And it's funny because we had a customer recently call us kind of a little bit frantic because she has had a swim spa, she loves it, and she had a baby. And the baby's getting to be of the age where the mom wants her to be able to get in the swim spa.
Sure.
And she's like, I don't know what to do because should I have her wear, diapers? It's still going to go through. And she was like really nervous because she remembered that Ben was like, don't pee in the water. But obviously, we want you to enjoy.
We want you to enjoy it, but we don't want you to pee in it. But if it should happen,
right,
it's not the end of the world.
Especially if it's a young
absolutely because it's a small
kid,
it's a small amount, and human sweat and urine are the same thing. So
yeah.
Chlorine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Dave said, phew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a thing. Don't worry about it. Don't change the water. That's it. Okay. So fun subject to talk about. When like if a stranger just said, "Hey, how do you take care of one of these?" I always sort of jokingly say, "Well, don't pee in it," and then go into the spiel on what to do. And so I do say that. That is true. All right. So 5 after, we've got 20 people on here.
Yeah, I mean,
we've already addressed the pee.
It's a holiday week.
It's a holiday week.
How many people are coming on?
That's true. That's true. It is really. Summer got off early today. She got off at 2.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we figured it's a good time. It's summer's here, and it's a good time to talk about the difference between a swim spa and a pool, or why we think having a swim spa is way better than a pool. And we certainly have a lot of customers who would agree, especially just the cost alone of putting in an in-ground pool is just gotten to be astronomical for, especially in your colder temperature areas where we experience cold winters. It's an investment that you can only use maybe 3 to 4 months out of the year, and to heat it is just crazy.
Yep.
Where having a swim spa is year round and way less than putting in a pool. So it's just a much better investment in the long run.
Sometimes we'll go to events and be working, and someone will say, how much is a swim spa? They range from 25 to 60,000, blah blah blah, and then they're like, you could build a pool for that. Man, you cannot. You cannot. Maybe in Florida 10 years ago you could, but it didn't have much on it, and now no way.
I mean, I can tell you, we're in the Northeast. Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, we talk to people a lot about that, and like people for a really nice in-ground pool, not even talking about landscaping and LED lighting that you can add and all of that.
Fencing.
You're looking at 100 to 150 plus thousand.
Yeah.
For an in-ground pool.
Yeah, when you do it the way you want to,
Yeah.
and then not to mention the fencing is incredibly expensive.
And permitting and property tax and insurance, all of that will increase, where with a swim spa, it is considered a portable hot tub, so those things are not affected.
Right.
And because of our locking safety cover, you don't need a fence around it. It's just a better investment overall.
Look at this. My neighbor was quoted $400,000 in Minnesota. I mean, I have to assume for 400 it was a pretty significant pool, but it wouldn't take long to get there. I mean, we're talking, 100, 150 for a basic box with, an apron around it, gunite, maybe a heater, and no hot tub. It's pretty crazy. So that doesn't really surprise me. But for 400, I would hope that it was a very significant pool situation.
Yeah.
Of course, in Minnesota, your swim season is probably shorter than ours is here. It's 2.5 months here, honestly. So, okay, so we got a question.
Yeah.
Robert, your opinion about differences between divided spa, swim spa, and continuous spa, swim spa. So it's a great question, and one that we tackle all the time. So, Robert, the whole thing boils down to how many people you want in the hot tub. Both are awesome. So here we run a Challenger 15, and then we've got a Twilight 7.2 over there you can't see in the corner, and we run separate temperatures, although our swim spa is usually very warm. Like right now, it's 95, and it feels amazing. So, if you're 3-4 people, max 4 in the dual temp, the hot tub's going to be fine. And so you really need to be honest about your use. If it's 2 people living in the house, the dual temp is awesome. You can't beat it. It's one shot. You can also remember you can heat up the pool side. If it was an event like a party, you could heat up the pool side to hot tub temperature if you wanted to. It's because it's 2 separate temperatures, 2 separate heaters, and it is capable of hot tub temperature on the pool side. So if you've got a family of 6 and you're all going to go in there at the same time, well then maybe separate units is a great option. So it just boils down to the size of how many people you want in the hot tub, and it's as simple as that. As far as function goes, the hot tub end functions just like a Twilight, And the swim end functions just like either a trainer, the Michael Phelps Momentum, or a Challenger. There's no difference in the swim quality, so you're not losing any swim quality by doing a dual temp at all. It's just really a convenience. You're installing one unit, so it's a little more simple. The amperage is the same, so it really just comes down to that one question.
I have two questions. One other question that you may want to consider, and this is not everyone would think about this, but if your main goal is swimming, and you or anyone who's going to be doing most of their time swimming in it is greater than 6'3", taller than 6'3", then the swim area, 6'4", the swim area in the 19 is the same as the swim area in the 15.
True.
Just
she's
about.
Right. As usual, she's right. That is true.
So it's just something to consider if you need that little extra space for swimming because you are quite tall, then you may consider an 18-foot
and then
and
go
a separate. Then
units.
you would need a separate hot tub.
And then if you're just looking at a dual temp versus a single swim spot and not a separate hot tub, well, then the question becomes temperature for exercising. If you're swimming, a lot of swimming, hardcore swimming, you wouldn't want to keep it at hot tub temperature.
Right.
Like this is 95 degrees. We would cool this down if we were going to start doing hard swim sets in here. Absolutely, because it's too hot for hard training. So, but if it's going to be like moderate training, you can temper it down to 92, 90, 89, and start getting good training in there, and then it's still warm. So it just depends on the use, but having two temperature capabilities as far as hot tub relaxation and rehab and swim exercise, the two temperatures, whether it's two separate units or the dual temp, is awesome.
Yeah.
Is awesome, and I would tell you that. Well, I guess, what am I trying to say here? So it always boils down to, really the 19 and the 15 is what we always end up talking about. So none of these options are bad. It's just a matter of what you're looking to do. That was a long, that was a long answer for that, Robert. So I'm sorry about that. But it is a long and passionate conversation. All right, let me see if we got. She said no, thank you, and now have them looking at Master Spas Minnesota. Right? I'm like, she said no, thank. Oh, to the 400 grand pool.
Yeah.
I don't blame her. That's pretty crazy. Okay, 15D owner, 1 week. Installer said to add 7-8 tablespoons of dichlor after each use. No. Jim, no.
Yeah.
No. That's insanity. Shoots up to about 6 to 8 parts per million and stays there for a day. Yeah, and then your EcoPure is fighting it too on top of that, trying to lower it. Yeah. No, cut that at least.
2 tablespoons?
I'm going to say 2-3. Yeah, go 2-3, try that. You should be between 1 to 3 parts per million. 1 to 3, that's it. Okay. Wow, Jim, good question. That gentleman needs a vigorous spanking for that information and advice. Hard no. Maybe if there was 10 kids in there and they all peed. All right. Michael Wright, I saw that you called. I'll call you back. I love you. I miss you. All right. Flagler, we know where you are, Mike. Tracy, our new, he's shaking his head going, idiot. Our new trainer 19D is leaking. What? Found a small defect in floor before filling. So disappointed. Have you seen this? No, you don't see that very often. Have you seen this, and what is the remedy? Well, are you sure it's leaking from a defect in the floor? Because these are all wet tested before they leave the factory. It's much more common, if it's new especially, for a fitting or a union to be loose. It's common for a customer to overfill it in the beginning and have it seep out a couple of places if it's overfilled. There's a few things that need to be checked before we think it's that, because they are all wet tested before they leave the factory. But we do see new units leak from time to time. They're made in Fort Wayne, not in heaven. But Tracy, yeah, they'll make it right and figure it out. Don't worry about a thing. No matter what it is, it'll be made right for sure. Okay, so if you haven't already, I'm sure you're contacted to your dealer, but customer service directly from Master Spas always there to help as well. So no, we can't have leaky 19Ds out there. That's no good. All right, we'll get that taken care of. Kenny Anderson watching. What's up, dude? Let's see. Dave Hagen. Is it true that baking soda can be used to raise alkalinity and pH? Yes, it is. Simple answer. Just make sure it doesn't have any other stuff in it. Just plain baking soda. No flavored deodorizer, no added, nothing. Just plain old school. And it does work, yes. Jim said, thanks. Yeah, dude, that's way too much, bro. Way too much, no good. The service tech checked it out and didn't find anything, Tracy said. Okay, then get them to make it right. All right. And if you need customer service from Master Spas directly, you're welcome to do that. They're fantastic as well. Okay? All right, we're caught up there, Mary.
Okay.
What you got? We got questions?
Yeah, we do. But I just to reiterate that we are talking about the differences between swim spa and pool. And one thing, if you are using your swim spa for exercising, it's so wonderful because it's the temperature that you want to exercise in all the time. So I just think about like my parents, and they come and exercise in the swim spa because it feels good and they're getting a really great workout that they wouldn't be able to do as they're getting older on the ground, on the earth. So it's warm, 95 degrees, so it feels great when you get in. So it's just inviting, as opposed to like that dreaded, like, I don't want to get in that water to do anything because it's uncomfortable when you make that first step in. And it just makes me think about when we used to have to train at like the YMCA or community pool for Ironman training. I just dreaded it because it was so cold when you first got started. Even though you know in your head it's going to get better as you start swimming, it was just terrible because it was always cold when you first got in. Where if it was warm when you first got in, the temperature that you like to get in and it feels great, you're just so much more likely to do it.
No question.
To get it done. And maybe something that's not that easy, but if it feels good initially when you get started, it just sets a different mindset. Just another difference between like a pool where a lot of times, unless you're spending a lot of money to heat your pool during the summer, it's expensive. It's not the same as a swim spa, which is always at the temperature that you like. And again, it's all year. So.
And to summarize a simple list, if you were to compare the two, a pool, you have much more maintenance. And don't forget that rainwater can affect your water. I mean, if you think we have questions about keeping the water under control, a pool is worse because the rain will mess up your chemistry. All kinds of organics falling in there, you can't stop it. Okay, so it never stops. So water chemistry on a hot swim spa or hot tub is way easy compared to a pool. You're year round. Not happening unless you're in certain climates. Most of us are not, or we wouldn't be here dealing with swim spas. Okay? Exercise component, if you have a shortened swim season, from an exercise component, what do you do the rest of the year if that's your primary, exercise capability? Fencing, I don't know if you guys have priced fence anytime. Recently, I did 300 feet of 6-foot, like commercial grade stockade fence, white vinyl at my house. It's not Home Depot stuff, it's thicker. That was 2 years ago, and it was about $35,000. And it's just, straight on the corner. I live on a corner, so the inside corner we just did, the whole lot corner to corner because I wanted privacy. Actually, I'll just say, my neighbors' yards look so terrible I couldn't stand it anymore, so I spent that money so that I never have to see them again. And it's awesome, best money I ever spent. So Summer's on here hysterical laughing right now. But Summer is my daughter. Okay, so. We got some questions.
Okay.
Kenny said, I'm too old to deal with non-heated water. Word. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
So this question is from Steve in California. Hi, Ben and Mary. We're going on vacation for 2 weeks. It was time to drain and refill our H2X Trainer 15D anyway. So I drained it in advance of our trip and plan on leaving it empty until we get back home. It's very hot here in California. I left the cover on. Will the swim spa be safe, empty in the heat with the cover on for a few weeks? Thanks.
You should be fine. So you've got the temperature is, so we were, if you're Northern California, we were just there and it was over 100 and it's supposed to be this week like 115, 115. It's really hot. So, you know, you're not supposed to leave the swim spa uncovered in the sun. So covered is definitely the way to go. Should be fine. That is extreme heat, but the water is actually keeps the surface clean. I'd rather you refilled it, because in addition to that heat, normally you'd have no problem with that. The heat is so extreme there right now. It's just abnormally hot. Although the last time I was in Sacramento was 114 degrees, and this time it was 102, so it's just very strange. But the other thing that you're going to have when you drain that out, all the water that's going to be in those lines on the bottom, when you fill it up and start it up, you're going to get some algae growing in there in 2 weeks' time, because that water is sitting in there stagnant, and it's going to be very, very hot. So you're going to get some slugs of yucky stuff that's going to come out after 2 weeks. So I'd rather see you fill it beforehand if it's not too late.
Keep the temperature all the way down.
Keep the temperature all the way down so it doesn't pull past there. You know, although it could heat up if it's in direct sunlight anyway in those extreme temperatures. But I think I'd rather see you fill it up, if I'm being honest. I think you'll be okay if you didn't, and if you already left for vacation, it is what it is at this point. I think you'll be okay, but I'd rather see you fill it back up. And then you avoid the slugs of, you know, yucky stuff growing in the pipes, because there's no circulation, no nothing. And you definitely are not going to get that out on a simple drain. Okay? We got a couple questions.
Okay.
Mark, does Master Spas suggest salt, chlorine, bromine for their swim spas, or does it matter? So no salt. We will avoid your big, beautiful warranty. It's unnecessary. It's not that great. So in a pool, it's amazing. In a swim spa, it's unnecessary. So chlorine, yes, if you're running soft tread, so you can see the exercise mats on the stairs and on the bottom. So chlorine if you're running soft tread. If you're not running soft tread, you're welcome to use bromine, but you want to change your filters out, because the EcoPure and the bromine, they don't like each other, so they're going to battle, okay? So you want to just use regular filters instead of the EcoPure if you're running bromine, okay? Water.
So one thing that to keep in mind, and I've actually heard Ben say this, and I've been saying
so it must be true.
No, it is true. So you are using in your hot tub or your swim spa a relatively very small amount of chlorine, so that you would be keeping the water at 1 to 3 parts per million. And safe drinking water is.
Ooh, make them answer. Make them answer.
Does anyone know what safe drinking water is?
Parts per million
chlorine parts per million. Anyone.
It's like Bueller, Ferris. Anyone? Anyone? What is the maximum?
You have to scroll.
Yep. We've got another question there. Does anyone know typically the maximum allowable chlorine levels in drinking water? Keeping in mind that we have suggested, dictated, and said that we're looking for your swim spa, cold tubs, hot tubs, to be 1 to 3 parts per million. Safe drinking water, Robert guessed 1 to 3 parts per million. Close. 4 parts per million and below is safe for drinking water. And we're suggesting 1 to 3 in here. So you should not smell that.
You shouldn't smell it, and you shouldn't, be concerned about using that amount.
Yep. I also wouldn't drink it.
No, I wouldn't drink it either, but I'm just...
Unless I absolutely had to, which you shouldn't be in that situation. Okay, so that's true. Mary, good. All right, let me scroll back here. There was one more. Last week I developed an air bubble in the floor mat. Why? No cuts or damage. Suggestions for a fix. Probably the long-term fix is going to have to be pulled out and redone. If you're new and that happened, call your dealer, absolutely, and have them repair it, which is going to involve a full repair, because there's no way to get that air pocket out. It's probably just there was a little tiny air pocket in there from installation, but the correct way to fix that is to redo it completely. Okay, Karen?
But if it's small and not something that bothers you terribly, I might just leave it until you drained it, because it would have to be drained and then fixed.
But if it's out of the warranty, then definitely do that.
Right.
If it's in the warranty and
Right.
you're not going to change the water for 9 months and it will be out of the warranty,
Right.
do it.
Good point.
Okay, so let that be the dictating factor. Protect your money. All right, good answers. We just got MP Momentum. I'm 80 and keep the swim side at 95 for aqua aerobic therapy. Let's see. Wife 75 likes the jacuzzi side at 105 plus for gentle soaking. That's hot. 105 is hot. All right, let's see. For gentle soaking, so we guessed correctly, still learning maintenance, appreciate it and agree with the smaller amount of dichlor after each daily use. The next day when we get test strip indicates almost no total or active chlorine, so our
Right.
skin doesn't get itchy.
Right.
We're in southern AZ with extreme temps, so we regulate temp by putting foam blocks about every 3 feet around the swim spa, I'm assuming the cover, to let
Awesome.
it bleed out that heat. Perfect answers.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I've got a question here from Patrick in Michigan. We would like to move our swim spa. We're going to add on to the cement pad that is there currently. When that is completed, we would like to move the spa to the new pad. What way would be the best way to do that?
So if it's all flat and the same height, you want to get what you can rent it, what's called a Johnson bar. It's a big wooden plank. It's got 2 steel wheels on it with a lip, and if you put it on, you can just empty the
I
water
was going to
first.
say drain your swim spa first.
That's why she's got the big ass brain. Yeah, and I have the pea brain. Empty the water first.
You need to disconnect it, all of that.
Disconnect it. Okay, I took that as an assumption, and I'm not saying that
You can't
maybe.
do that anymore.
Yeah, right. Okay, so then lift it up and get a piece of pipe under there, like a 2-inch, 1-inch PVC, and then jack it up in a few spots. Get about 3-4 sticks of PVC pipe underneath it, and it will be super easy to roll it right to where you want to go if it's on the same level. If it's not, you may want to get your dealer to move it for you.
Yeah.
Because it will become tricky, and they're just really good at it.
And I mean, the dealer that delivered it, they've
Yeah.
got a crew that
and they're
certainly
just-
can do
yeah,
that
yeah.
if needed. So.
All right. So, Tracy, what should I do to stop the bit of rust already at the grab bar? So you're getting rust above the water line, probably not off gassing. So when you put chlorine in there, you want to leave the covers open for 20 minutes with the jets on, 15-20 minutes, and off gas it. So the water, so there's no rust below the water ever, but then in between the cover and the top of the water, right? So this little distance right here, that's where you've got chlorine in the air, and it's corrosive. Okay, so you want to bleed it off a little longer, and probably the case. But get that cleaned up right now, and you'll be okay.
You can use the vinegar, the Windex vinegar cleaner with like a microfiber cloth. If you need a little bit of texture, gently use a Mr. Clean wipe, but just really gently. So, but the vinegar cleaner does help that a lot.
So let's see, Karen, let me catch up here. Melissa, do your spas have treadmills in them? You could add a treadmill that's portable to the bottom of it. We don't make one in it. I always ask this question. We've tested everything that has ever been in a swim spa. Master, again, largest manufacturer in the world. How long does anyone really honestly expect a treadmill that's living its entire life underwater to last? That's an issue waiting to happen that we don't want any part of. Whereas the small portable units, you can take them in, take them out, and then it doesn't get in the way for the rest of the exercise. But we do so much other stuff in there, we don't want it in the way. So there's a multitude of reasons that we don't do it. Okay, Melissa?
You can get a really great workout if you turn
Yeah.
the current on
And just run against it.
run against the current. I mean, you can adjust that current to full speed, and you're working, you're running.
Karen said the bubble, I'm assuming, is 10 inches. That's a big bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, so on the bottom of there, yeah, I mean, the temperature change could increase the size of the air that was trapped in there, and if the adhesive on that spot was just not real great or got contaminated during installation, could cause that. So it just needs to be redone. I would have them do it from scratch, especially if you're in warranty, and if not, just wait. I don't think I would cut it to let the air out, because then I think it's just going to continue to spread. But to me, it would feel like a blister, and I pop blisters because I'm a bad person. That's not good advice for you, and I'm not suggesting you do that.
I've got one more question here.
Tracy said rust was there at delivery. Just clean it up and make sure you off-gas it, and it'll be fine.
What do you need to do with, this is from Liz in Ontario, what do you need to do with your swim spa if you're going to be away for 2 months in the winter?
So I would recommend lowering the temperature all the way down and keeping it running and having someone come, every other week to pop a little chlorine in there. And then you have no issue, no nothing. It's never going to have a problem. If you winterize it and something gets messed up, winterizing we don't love the winterizing. And you see premature pump failure, 6 to 8 years instead of 12 on average, stuff like that. So I'd rather keep them wet. Our longest running customers' units are just wet down and kept wet forever, and they just last forever. Okay. Kenny, you can also put car wax on the bar to prevent the rust. Kenny, you know what? Kenny comes up with a lot of good stuff.
Thank you.
Kenny, I like it. I like it. Metal Magic to help get rid of my rust stains. Yep, absolutely. I will try vinegar again. I don't know how to say that. Bob Eho? Anyway, we're gonna go Bob for short. Bobby for short. Because then you could be, yeah. So what is the average lifespan of a swim spa? We don't know yet because they've only been made since 2003. So there's no average. They're still out there a long time. We expect them to last. I mean, typically the spiel says 20, 25 years. Your average lifespan on pumps and heaters and controls and stuff is 12 plus if you're taking good care of the water. We've got product out there, 18 years old, that has original everything. The structure, we fiberglass reinforce and vinyl ester in between, hand roll. These things should last a long, long time. So be comfortable with it. How do you not smash your... Wait, Mark asked. Hang on, this is good. How do you not... Let me hit the C more. How do you not smash your feet against the edge or seats when swimming? I just picture a marble in a can if I were to try swimming in a confined space.
Well, I mean...
If you're swimming in a swim spot that's too small for your height, that could happen, but this is a 15-footer. I've never smashed anything. It's my feet are... There's plenty of space. And you stay in one spot in the middle, so you're if you're swimming all side to side.
And I was just gonna say, if you are swimming in like the sweet spot where you should
you're not
be,
gonna have that happen.
And you're not too tall for it, your feet aren't really anywhere near the steps.
Bob said I'm in Ohio. Yeah, we're in Connecticut. Same weather. Cold, hot.
Thank you.
I don't know what car that was, but that was really fun. And I know it was that white. That sounded awesome.
Oh.
I like fast cars. I waste money on cars, so that was fun for me. All right. In Ohio, yeah, same contrast here. Super hot in the summer, cold in the winter. Let's see. Last time you mentioned CoverMate 3X. What's the difference between the 3 and the MX? The MX is metal, not plastic. Jim, good question. Thank you. And then hello from Castilla. Castilla. Awesome. Whenever it's a place that you just don't hear every day, we love that. That's the best part of this, is the reach. So thank you for tuning in. We love that. We love it. It's just so much fun to see. Just everywhere, people love water, and it's just fantastic. The fact that we get to do this for a living, pretty awesome. Yeah. Pretty damn awesome.
For sure.
Okay. All right, we're caught up on there.
We're caught up too. So just so everyone knows, we will be on vacation in 2 weeks. So we are going to be back on the 24th, July 24th. So we will see everyone in 3 weeks. But we wanted to make sure that we got on today, even though it's a holiday week, we know. If anyone has any questions about the differences between hot swim spa and pool, post them here, or any other questions that you have. Obviously, we'll be happy to answer them. Did anything pop up? I see.
Robert said our midday temps are often over 100 and swim spa GFI breaker trips often. We just, Summer said 10 days actually. We're talking vacation stuff, so, but who's counting? So Mary's going first before we go. So Robert, if your temperature, we just had this question. If the GFCI is tripping when it's really, really hot, it sort of makes us wonder if the wire that they used is too small, but once in a while we'll see that because it's heat that causes GFCI to trip. So if the wire is too small, it will be a little like if they squeezed a number 8 instead of a number 6. So I would check that. There's no reason on our end that would be doing that. It would be on an electrical end. That's what we came up with. We just dealt with this. Like I swear the last live, and that's what I called in to Kirk, who knows everything. When I have a question, there's like 3 people that I call. He's one of them, and that's what we came up with. There's no real reason. There's no strain coming from the hot tub or swim spa. That's for sure. So I would check the electrical first and start with the gauge of the wire that they wired it in. Okay, and it is also possible to have a GFCI wear out. So once they start tripping, they probably weaken a little bit. So it is possible. And then if you're on a Phelps, the GFCI is internal, and those can wear out just like an electrical 50-50-30 pro wired suspect motor controller. So you have 50 amps. What gauge wire did they wire it in, Robert? That's the question. If they use number 8, not number 6, that would cause that. So, on a Michael Phelps, you do have internal GFCI. GFCIs can wear out and be no good. So you could also just be as simple as that. Motor controller would be surprising to me. So I would start on the electrical side, and then I would go to the GFCI, and then if it's a Michael Phelps, the GFCI is built in. So then I would start with that. Okay. All right. Suspect. Favorite place to get aqua dumbbells? They aren't included anymore. Tracy, they stopped making them. We couldn't get them anymore. But you can go on Amazon and get some good ones.
There's a kit on Amazon that has a few different things that have dumbbells and ankle fins.
So you want more catchy of the water, not floaty.
Not foam.
Yeah, no foam. You want them like with fins on there so you catch the water.
Yeah.
That's where your resistance comes from. All right, we had one. Please tell me about the water level in the swim spa. So that's actually a little low. So you've got a sticker. Right there. Am I pointing that correctly? Yep. There's a sticker, and go as a start, go right to there. But in a Challenger, I actually like to overfill it a little bit on purpose because those giant 3 pumps, when they start sucking a lot of water in when you're swimming fast, you can start pulling a little air from these filters if it's not a little deeper. So in the Challenger, I run a little deeper than I do in a trainer. I just see that from time to time. Okay? I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good.
So we'll see everybody in 3 weeks. Have a wonderful holiday.
Yep.
Enjoy
Have fun.
your summer.
Stay safe.
Yep.
Sunscreen. Try not to put it in the water, but use your sunscreen.
All right.
All right,
Have
guys.
a good night. Happy
See ya.
4th of July.
You're welcome. That was to Anna, not everybody, but you're all welcome. Bye-bye.